Best way to transfer files over a LAN between two Linux computers. I want to transfer files, a music folder, between two Linux computers. After searching for the best way to do this, I've seen that there are lots of ways of doing this. I know this has been asked a lot, everywhere and all the time. The main problem with this is that there is no clear, recent consensus on one best way to do this task in 2011 for Linux beginners, even depending on some parameters. So in the spirit of the Stack Exchange websites, I want this not to be related to my particular situation, but more of a guide to others as well on how to transfer files between two Linux computers over a local network. I think a wiki would be useful for many. Here's what I found so far. SSH, SSHFS, SCP, SFTP, NFS, Samba, Giver. What is the easiest, most flexible, simplest, best solution? What are the pros and cons of each? Are there other, better options? What are the parameters in choosing the best method? Solution might depend on number of files, file size, easiness versus flexibility.
In a Linux environment, for both security and ease of use, SSH is the best way to go. SSH, SSHFS, SCP, and SFTP as you list are all just different services built on top of the SSH protocol. SCP is very easy to use, it works just like CP but you can provide user and machine names in the path. So, we might do a CP like cp/music//new music/, but we could just as easily do scp/music/user at host column/new music to send it to the computer named host. That's it, we don't need to set anything up. You'll be prompted for the account password on the other machine if you don't have certificate or some other authentication setup. SCP shares those settings with SSH, of course. SFTP is a tool that makes it easy to do a lot of operations on a remote file system. It works just like FTP, but it runs through SSH so it's secure and requires only an SSH server. Man SFTP will tell you all about how to use it. I don't use SFTP just to move a folder between two machines, it's more useful when you have a lot of operations to do, like if you're rearranging files on another computer. SSHFS just extends SFTP into a file system. It allows you to mount a virtual host into your file system, so the network stuff happens totally transparently. SSHFS is for semi-permanent setups, not just a one-time file transfer. It takes some more effort to get set up, which you can read about on the project website. If you need to work in a mixed OS environment, Samba becomes your next best bet. Windows and OS X support Samba completely automatically, and Linux does as well, though it's sometimes rough to use.
My personal favorite for cases where security doesn't matter is netcat plus tar. To send a directory, cd to inside the directory whose contents you want to send on the computer doing the sending and do. tar cz dot, North Carolina Q10 LP 45454. On the computer receiving the contents, cd to where you want the contents to appear and do. North Carolina W10 remote _ host 45454, tar xz. Replace $remote _ host with IP, host name of computer doing the sending. You can also use a different port instead of 45454. What's actually happening here is that the receiving computer is connecting to the sending computer on port 45454 and receiving the tar and zip contents of the directory, and is passing that directly to tar and zip to extract it into the current directory. Quick example, using localhost as a remote host. Computer 1. Computer 2.
For one-time moves, SCP is recommended. But if you find that this DIA may work and you need to move it many times to keep the other position updated, then you can use resync with SSH. Since resync has a lot of arguments, I usually put it in a small shell so I get it right every time. The idea is to only send things that has changed since the last time it ran. This will move a DIA called /home/media/music/ from the local computer to the PC called 192.168.0.33 using user NISA, and delete anything on the target that doesn't exist on the local PC.
I would recommend you trying alternatives instead, going straight with SSH for moving files inside your own LAN as the overhead is immense. I would go with Casper's solution if this one for whatever reason won't work for you. At the source. On destination. This won't only be lighter than using SSH but far faster, with speeds ranging 45-65 MB on standard Cat6 UTP. If you really want to squeeze the most out of the connection, try replacing GA with LFTP and using GAN20 and mirror R commands.